The Australian Silky Terrier.
Many of the
Bichon
toy
Frise.
breeds are bred down from sporting breeds.
The Bolognese.
A little corded breed from
The
Italy.
Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
One of the royal spaniels, the Cavalier.
The Chihuahua Longcoat.
Smallest breed in the world.
The Chihuahua
Chihuahua.
Smoothcoat.
Here's its smooth cousin.
And now the Chinese Crested.
This one, the long-coated variety, which we call the powder puff.
The Coton De Tulear. English Toy Terrier Black and Tan.
The extended action of the
Griffon
English Toy
Bruxellois.
Terrier. The Griffon, the wire-coated.
The Havanese.
Now very
The
popular
Italian
as a
Greyhound.
show dog. And here the high stepping action of the elegant, delicate Italian Greyhound.
The Japanese Chin.
The Japanese Chin, just a
The
little
King
bit
Charles
overawed
Spaniel.
there. And the other of the Royal Spaniels, the King Charles, more domed in the skull than the Cavalier.
The Lowchen, little lion dog.
Distinctive trim of the
The
Lowchen.
Maltese. The miniature Pinscher.
The smart
The
shape
Papillon.
and outline of the miniature Pinscher. A Papillon from the same kennel
The
as
Pekingese.
last year's winner. Distinct rolling gait of the Pekingese.
The Pomeranian. And now the Pug.
Topping a huge entry of pugs today.
And now we see the Yorkshire Terrier. And finally, the Russian Terrier. I now hand over to Jonathan Daltrey and Kim Soletto-Beale for the toy commentary.
Thank you very much, Graham.
Now,
a very great pleasure to
the judge now
talk
going to
you through
walk round the
second of today's
best of breed winners, and I'm joined by Jessica Home and Laura Crombie as my co-commentators here for this exciting toy group here.
Welcome, Laura.
Thank you. Very excited to be here. So our judge here just taking her first look, really taking in the outlines and comparing each of these breeds to their breed standard.
Of course, the outline and balance, very important for breed type, which is what the judge is looking for in every breed.
Unusual to see a powder puff in the Chinese Crested. Nearly always we see the other variety. Lovely outline of that Italian Greyhound. Just look at that. An absolute picture.
It's definitely giant characters.
A rich variety and diversity of breeds in the toy group.
And she hasn't got far to walk because they're so small.
Very good observation.
As far as the Americas, Asia, and the Far East, and even Australia too.
Little Pomeranian, always standing to attention.
Carolyn,
Look at that.
Compact.
first look of her toy group.
As far as he's concerned, there's no one else in there.
Makes her way back to the table where the first dog is up to eat. So this is the Affenpinscher. Jessica Grunninger.
So first of our best of breed winners in the toy group. This one is a sturdy little toy breed, one of the oldest, the Affenpinscher. The name roughly translates as monkey mutt, and he's characterised by his little monkey face. Just look at that. Hails from southern Germany, where he started as a ratter and was upgraded to a companion to the glitterati.
Ridding them of the pests. Later they were brought indoors to chase mice out of the kitchens. As the breed further developed, the Affenpinscher's size was decreased to transform him.
They're a breed which is full of character.
It's said that the Affenpinscher influenced the development of other European
Hiding behind the box at the moment.
They've got a bit of Griffon blood in them, and it's thought that they used to guard the stables at night and were also very good vermin dogs. And they go with this very specific floating goose step action. It's a sort of straight-legged action with a little bit of lift to it, and the tail just carried over the back a little. Very smart.
They're described as being small but not delicate in any way.
And you can really see that, can't you? Little black devil with sparkling dark eyes.
1982. That's the best of breed, Affenpinscher.
The next dog that we see on the table is the Australian Silky.
Here we have the second of our best of breed winners, the Australian Silky Terrier, believed to have been developed from a mix of the Australian and Yorkshire Terriers. It's a toy, but it's very terrier-like. Judge should be looking for an alert, keen and active dog. They're compact, but they should have enough substance to suggest an ability to hunt. This one is Amoroso, and he's come over from Ireland. He's a multi-international champion.
Kennel in Sydney, I beg your pardon. The breed earned its early name of the Sydney Silky.
Now he carries some of the qualities of his parents, the silky coat of the Yorkshire Terrier, the blue and tan coloration, very important, but also he's a terrier temperament. He's a very sporting, should be capable of killing a rat still, despite it being in the toy group. He's still a good vermin dog.
Super little dog, isn't it? It's hard to understand why they're the least numerous. Only 14 of them judged here at Crufts. Nice level top line on the move, and those gorgeous little V-shaped ears being worked hard.
And that coat in such good condition, it's literally gleaming under the lights here.
Looks beautiful.
Australian Silky, number 2942.
Richard Haynes was judge of the Bichon Frise today.
And now the Bichon Frise on the table. It's one of the white Mediterranean dogs. Bichon means it's a curly, crisp corkscrew curls of a silky coat.
Bichon, the addition of Frise referring to the coat.
Goes back to the Tenerife in the 14th century, and it was taken to mainland Europe by sea traders.
It's said that Bichon Frise was developed for the Maltese that we'll see later, crossed with other popular mixed breed lapdogs at the time, most likely the Poodle and the Barbet.
So this one won Best of Breed last year here at Crufts. He's Pablo, a 2.5-year-old dog, and he's come from Lancashire.
As a trading commodity throughout the
And just look at that startling black pigment. He's got a black nose, beautiful black eyes against that lovely crisp white coat.
The loose corkscrew curls typify the coat of the breed. And the
Consummate show dogs, aren't they?
artists such as Goya and Titian.
great carriage, and there's lovely dark eyes with halos, dark pigmentation around the eyes.
This is a dog that enjoys some home comforts.
I think most of the toys do, don't they? The Bichon Frise.
First breed of Bichon Frise Club. That's the Bichon Frise.
And the next dog we have on the table.
Now another member of the Bichon or white dog family, but this one Italian in origin, the Bolognese, characterised by his non-shedding coat that's described as flock, which means it falls into many separate locks of hair rather than forming a frizz or mats or anything like that. Another with black nose, eyes and eye rims.
Havanese and the Coton De Tulear, we'll see later. Although there are some similarities, the Bolognese are a very distinctive breed in their own right. It's an ancient breed of noble origin.
And again, the dark pigmentation against the white coat, very important. the essentials for this breed is that they should be sturdy and square. They've got a decent length of leg, sturdy bone in this square body shape. Quite different in coat texture to its cousin, the Bichon Frise.
So this should be a smart mover with the legs moving out parallel. This one doesn't seem phased at all by the big ring.
Intelligent little dogs. The aficionados describe them as friendly to those they know.
This was a breed brought to the UK in 1990 by Liz Sound. They're gaining popularity. That's the Bolognese best of breed, number 3071.
As last year, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Now the largest entry in the toy group this year, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and this is our best of breed winner. This is Hayden, a 23-month-old dog. They're a close relation to the King Charles Spaniel that we'll see later, and they're characterised by their ever-wagging tail. They should be active, graceful and well-balanced.
It was the referee's decision that this dog, number 3290, represents the Cavaliers in tonight's group.
This one a rich Blenheim colour, that's rich chestnut and white, and it takes its name, the King Charles, from the court of its patron Charles I.
And the breeders have done an enormous amount of work with this breed to remove exaggeration. They should be flat between the ears, shouldn't it? That skull, no dome. You don't want any issues with apple heads or domes. And this is a beautiful example of the breed. Very balanced, not exaggerated at all.
And large dark eyes give it this beautiful soft expression.
It should be free-moving with an elegant action.
I said that many of the toy breeds are sporting dogs in miniature, and this, the Cavalier, should really be a sporting spaniel bred down. It's thought that the sportsmen of the house give the runts of the litter to the ladies to bring up, and that's how the toy breeds were developed.
And now we see the first of the Chihuahua varieties. So our judge, Carolyn Rowe, this evening is the long coat Chihuahua.
And the Chihuahua, the long coat variety on the table. This is the smallest breed in the world. Developed in the Mexican state of Chihuahua, and it was made popular when it went to the United States and became a celebrity dog, and we see plenty of that these days as well. They have to be sturdy but also fine.
Arizona and New Mexico. It's believed that the breed descended from the Tay Chi, a small canine that dates back to Mayan times.
Might be the smallest dog in the world, but it was the biggest entry here today, 216 of them. And as far as the Chihuahua is concerned, it's a really big dog in a tiny package. They might be small and dainty, but they are full of character, aren't they?
They don't know they're the smallest breed in the world. They think they're a giant, yes.
So this one is Gus. He's come over from Dublin in Ireland, and indeed his owner describes him as sparky, energetic, a bit bold, and he doesn't love anyone apart from his mom.
A bit bold, I think that's probably an understatement.
Has always arrived in the New World. It's believed that the Chihuahua-type dog was brought over to the rest of the world, and the result is the Chihuahua that we have today.
Lovely flared ears.
And the tail carried high over the back.
Long coat Chihuahua 3566.
And here's the smooth-coated cousin. So same standard, but a different coat. This Chihuahua, of course, they come from Mexico originally. Slightly longer than they are tall, should be level-backed, and just look at that head with those classic flared ears.
Just as much a big-hearted dog, the smooth-coat Chihuahua became hugely popular in Mexico City, stealing the hearts of America when the breed moved across the borders and state lines into the states.
And this does have a beautiful head, this dome skull, the large ears flared out in this large dark eyes. I'm very, very pleased to see this one here. It was my best of breed winner last year when he was a young dog, and he's had a great career. Full of character, this dense coat. They share the same standard, the long coat and the smooth coat. The smooth has to be dense coat, and again the tail, a thick coat without the plume of the long coat. Full of character, this Illuminati, Rolling Thunder, and Lindsay Anderson at the helm.
Judge here is looking for a brisk, forceful gait with that top line held really firm.
The little smooth coat Chihuahua.
the smooth coat Chihuahua.
And the next breed on the table is the Chinese Crested.
And next best of breed on the table is the Chinese Crested. Now this unique little dog comes in two varieties, the hairless and the powder puff, which is the least numerous and is the one we're seeing here. It should be covered in a veil of long hair, and they were originally owned by families in the Han Dynasty in China. They should be graceful and alert.
Believed to evolve from the African hairless dog and also known as the Abyssinian Sand Terrier. Zheng He, a Chinese explorer and diplomat.
And underneath that coat, where the judge is feeling, they've broad, deep chest, level back, high-set tail, long, narrow hair feet under all that flowing, elegant hair.
And the judges going under the coat and feeling the shoulder angulation, which is very important. The construction of the dog, it's not just about glamour. They have to have the correct anatomy to allow them to live well, to move well.
Now this one is called Biggie, which I think sums up what we were saying about the toys, where they think they're a big dog in a small package, and he's come from Russia.
Should be medium in length, a really supple body carried on long, slender legs, an easy mover, long stride, flowing and elegant.
From 1885 to 1920.
These large ears flared out and a clean, chiselled foreface. They have to have a degree of elegance in their heads and expressions.
And really wonderful to see the powder puff variety here in the group ring at Crufts.
Yes, I agree.
Chinese Crested number 3814.
Moving.
The Coton De Tulear is the royal dog of Madagascar. It was developed on the Isle of Tula for several centuries, and hence the name. And it was adopted by the noble families. It became something of a royal court dog. And there was a law passed against commoners owning them. So much were they prized.
It's believed that descendants of the breed were brought to the town of Tulear on the island of Madagascar by ship, and that was in the 16th century. These dogs are said to have bred
And that-
from small dogs.
Sorry.
I was just going to point out the coat, which is unique in its cotton texture, and they should have a distinctive rise and fall to the top line, which the judge will be feeling for under that coat.
And unusually, the coat is also, it's single. So instead of having a top coat and an undercoat, which most breeds of dogs do, this is just a single coat, which gives it that unique texture.
This one is Caesar, and he is from Kent, and his owner describes him as fun-loving and loves playing with children.
The coat is the texture of old-fashioned hard cotton, but although it's a single coat, there's a lot of grooming required to keep a coat looking at this. So,
Well, look at the amount of it.
but again, we see on the move that distinctive rise over the loin to a low-set tail has to be held on the move. That's the distinctive shape of the breed, which is very important.
There's an awful lot of body under that coat. That's the best of breed winning Coton De Tulear.
Lovely, round, dark, expressive eyes too. Beautiful little face there.
Now our judge, Karen Rowe, turns her attention to
This is the oldest of Britain's native toy breeds and currently on the vulnerable breeds list, which is really sad. Maybe only 150 puppies born annually. It's the English Toy Terrier, or Black and Tan. And whilst he's classified as a toy breed, the Black and Tan is very much the terrier in his origins.
Black and Tan Terrier and is closely related to the larger Manchester Terrier. Fast and agile, its origins are in the world of the rat pit.
The ears should be in a distinctive candle flame shape, and this is an elegant, compact, cleanly built dog.
In 1848,
It's thought that the English Toy Terrier was bred down from the Manchester Terrier. So again, an example of a sporting dog as the ancestry, bred down for the smaller specimens for the ladies of the house. But this still has to be able to acquit itself in the rat pits, as they used to do, have competitions for killing the number of rats. So, not a very nice idea. Fine-boned and dainty.
Toy Terrier was adopted in 1962.
The extended trotting action, really pointing its toes as it comes towards us.
3977.
Only come...
breed specialist Denise Barney was in charge of the Griffon Bruxellois today.
Here we have the best of breed winner in the Griffon Bruxellois. This is a breed that hails from Belgium, where it is used as a stable watchdog. It should be pert with a charming monkey face, which is what the judge is looking for here. It comes in the rough-coated variety in front of us, and also the less common smooth. It should be square in outline.
Bearded dog, also known as the Griffon De Tulear, which is a stable dog where they were used by coachmen to deal very aptly with vermin. The breed was crossed with pugs in the late 1890s.
Real cobby little dog, this. Heavy and stocky for his size. Slightly rounded skull, was never be domed, wide between those high-set ears.
A lot of substance in this square outline. Sturdy bone, big ribs, and full of attitude. He has to hold that slightly sloping top line on the move.
And this rough variety should have a harsh, wiry coat.
Little cat-like paws. High-set tail, wagging the entire way around. I always think they're such smart little dogs, these.
Again, another victor from Russia here. It's come all the way from Russia to win. Large, dark eyes, wonderful expression. They're great characters and lovely to live with.
And the next dog we see on the table is the Havanese. They were judged today by Bert Easton.
Now the Havanese on the table. This is the national dog of Cuba. And it's another member of the Bichon family. And it arrived in Cuba with Spanish colonists and Mediterranean traders.
As we mentioned, the Havanese is the national dog of Cuba.
Distinctive for its silky coat,
One encounters when researching
large dark eyes, and very curious and affectionate with the judge, as we see there.
He was known as the Blanquito de la Cubano, or the White Cuban, in the early 1700s, the dog of Havana in the late 1700s, or indeed the Cuban shock dog, so called for the familiar shock of
I tell you what, it doesn't matter what else this little dog does. It is definitely winning first prize for the charm offensive. That little wiggling tail and beautiful kisses for the judge. Absolutely charming.
One of the other distinctive things is the top line, which rises from the withers to the tail. It shouldn't be a completely level top line. It should run up a little.
It should be slightly longer than it is tall, and the tail is carried over the back in a plume.
And they're quite sturdy little dogs, aren't they, when you get your hands on them?
They should be. They should have some sturdiness in their bone and body. The importance of the silky textured coat and large dark eyes. This fulfilling all the breed requirements. Very nice. All the way from Poland to win today.
Now there's an entry of 97 Italian Greyhounds here today.
Aficionados of the Italian Greyhound breed describe them as elegant, refined, naughty and cheeky, both skinny and greedy, and maybe a little bit fragile. They're an ancient breed, and they acquired their name after a surge in popularity during the Italian Renaissance.
Some say that this ancient breed was perhaps the first dog to be developed as a pet and as a lapdog.
Often described as a greyhound in miniature, they should be elegant and quick-moving, and they have a distinctive high-stepping gait, which we'll see in a moment.
And although they're classified as a toy dog, obviously here and in the USA, you'd not be mistaken for thinking that's a greyhound in miniature, because they're actually still classified as sighthounds in Europe, aren't they?
They are, and again, it's another example of sporting dogs being bred down for the ladies of the house. This fine bone, someone said they were exquisite as Dresden china. With this fine bone, you have to be careful, not clumsy over them, or you'll break a bone. But they're beautiful breed, elegant in their head, holding their curves on the move, and this high-stepping action is most essential in a good Italian greyhound.
A wonderful aloof expression there as well.
And the next dog from Group Judge Carolyn Road to see is the Japanese chin.
And our next best of breed winner is the Japanese chin. This is described as an oriental aristocrat of bearing and demeanour. They originated in China and then made their way to Japan, where they're given as a gift from one empress to another. Chin literally means cat-like, and they can often be seen using to wash their paws to wash their face, just like a cat.
Amongst the Chinese aristocracy, given as presents for visiting nobility on occasions. The name of the Japanese chin is actually misleading. as is widely believed.
Beautiful cushioned muzzle and large dark eyes, a prominent nose with good nostrils. This one a black and white, silky textured coat. They also come in red and white. Lovely characters, growing in popularity in the show rings and as companions.
This is a 2-year-old dog called Drake, and he has come from just down the road in Worcestershire.
And they have quite a high stepping action. When they move, should hold the level top line, the tail plumed over the back.
Nice and square in outline too, compact. They're quite deep and wide chested, surprisingly so for such a tiny little dog.
And they should look permanently astonished.
And
those round eyes.
The squint of white on the inner corner of the eye gives them that squint.
Ruth Mockery judged 70 King Charles Spaniels.
And now the other Royal Spaniel, this one the King Charles Spaniel. It's related to the Cavalier we saw earlier, but quite different in head. The judge just showing the, looking at the mouth there, the dome skull and large dark eyes, rather short in the foreface. This one a black and tan.
Note the lovely domed head and shorter nose, which adjusts a couple of points to differentiate this lovely breed from its Cavalier cousin that we saw earlier in the group. As I mentioned, this may well be
Lovely long feathered ears too, framing that beautiful face. Affectionately known as the Charlie, they're gentle and reserved characters, quite cobby for a little toy spaniel.
They are. There's a lot of substance in the body. Again, the compactness. Again, sporting spaniel, bred down. The breeders have worked hard to improve the temperament and outgoing nature of the breed.
They should be free, active and elegant on the move. You can see that here with the tail carried below the level of the back.
And that coat is long and silky. It can be straight or in this case slightly wavy. This one black and tan, but they can also be like the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, tricolour, Blenheim or ruby.
In the early days of showing the breed, the lady owners often put ribbons round their ears to show off their head and expression. They're a real lady's pet.
And the next dog on the table for Carolyn to judge is the Lowchen.
This is the Lowchen, known as the little lion dog. The Lowchen was thought to have been developed in France and brought to the United Kingdom originally from Germany. The true origin of the distinctive lion clip actually isn't really known, although it may have had something to do with keeping these little lap dogs clean. They're clipped to produce that lion-like mane and the plume on the tipped tail.
The breed's ancestors were dogs that were brought in by travellers from the far eastern lands of Tibet, and they mingled with local dogs.
They're an unexaggerated breed, quite squarely built. This silky veil of hair. The judge looking at this wide skull and big dark eyes, very important.
The tail should be carried high on the move, and that movement should be free and parallel when viewed from the front or the rear.
And the name means little lion. And indeed, he looks like
this one comes from Morpeth in Northumberland with Joanne Whelan Graham, the owner breeder here. This is a group winner, so he's had a very good career.
The Kennel Club here first registered them in 1971.
Nice, proud, high head carriage you should have with a Lowchen.
Best of breed Lowchen, number 4498.
Susan Tyler was the judge of the Maltese today. Susan had no.
Here we have the distinctive long, soft, silky coat of the Maltese. As the name suggests, this is a breed that hails from Malta, and they should have dark black eyes and nose against a pure white coat. This one is called Ray, and his owners say he is a ray of light, which is very sweet.
From the island of Melita, now called Malta. In a painting by Titian in 1576, there is no difference to the then.
It's thought that the ladies of high society in Malta carried around their Maltese in little baskets with silk blankets in them, and they were known as the jewels of the ladies, and that's very appropriate. These little precious toys they had.
Rounded skull you can see, and quite a broad muzzle on a Maltese, dark eyes, and of course that lovely black nose. They're short and cobby, level backed on the move. And look at the drive.
And again, the top line, the level top line, firm, the tail carried correctly over the back. Just because they're glamorous toy dogs, we're still looking for soundness in movement and good construction in the conformation of the dog.
And an awful lot of attention goes into keeping a coat looking that good, doesn't it?
Oh, in a winter like this, it does.
The next dog that we'll see on the table is the miniature Pinscher. They were judged today by Robert Fernandez. There were 87 dogs here.
Now the miniature Pinscher on the table, the miniaturized version of the German Pinscher, which we'll see in the working group later in the week. It was bred down from the rat catcher dog and is still very capable himself of seeing off vermin.
The miniature Pinscher is not a miniature Doberman Pinscher.
He's a square dog,
although they share
hardy,
the same homeland of
and
Germany, the
completely
relationship is not
unexaggerated.
fair. They're a unique little breed, which is more than the sum of its parts, probably resulting from crosses between a small short-haired terrier, Dachshund, possibly even an
Just
Italian
look at that
Greyhound.
tail. The Havanese has got to run for its money on the charm offensive front. Absolutely fantastic little dog. So happy and proud to be in the ring.
They should be lively and high-spirited with quick reactions, and as it moves out here we'll be able to see the distinctive high-stepping hackney action, which is so typical of the breed.
Yes, full of spirit, and you can see why it could still see off the vermin. It's
Oh, absolutely.
very game.
And
Again,
you can also see the progenitors behind it, can't you? Thought to be Dachshunds, Italian Greyhounds and miniature Pinschers. It's just all sitting there.
A particularly fitting name, not only because of their king complex.
high-stepping action and the
toys,
tail carried well over the back and full of alertness here, is absolutely unfazed by the big ring experience.
High-set ears and a lovely narrow skull.
Dog 4636.
The owner says this is his best win so far. He is a champion, but this beats them all, she says.
Amanda Bruce had an entry of 196 Papillons here.
Now Kathleen
This is
Roosens
Ramona
from
before
Belgium took
794.
best of breed, won the group and best in show last year with a
two
Papillon.
varieties of
Thought to have
Pinscher
been
in the
developed from
breed.
European toy
Must find
spaniels
out
as
what
far back
Papillon,
as the 15th
when a
century in
drop-in
France
version
and
of
Belgium.
taken
The
from the
butterfly
word night.
prick ears give him his name, and of course the
This is a
moth
Franco
drop
Belgian
ears,
breed,
because they can
also
come with
referred
drop
to
ears,
as a
called the
continental
feline,
toy
is
spaniel.
completely different. They're dainty,
Some people
lively
actually
little
suggest
dogs. I
Italy
wonder if
plays a part
Kathleen can
in
do
its
it
makeup
again.
too. In a painting in the Wallace collection, if you ever get a chance to go, which is a great place to visit in London, the Papillon is clearly shown.
These dogs were hugely popular in the royal courts of Europe and were owned by Marie Antoinette. They're described as elegant, dainty and alert.
We're also fanciers of the breed.
Absolutely charming coming towards you. Last year's Best in Show winner was Dylan the Villain, and this is Simon the Hooligan.
And I believe they're
apparently.
related. And this dog's had a great career. He went to America and became a champion in only 4 days. Papillons should be exquisite. They're fine-boned and dainty. This lovely length of foreface, these ears like the spread wings of a butterfly, and this silky coat.
That's the Papillon.
This one in beautiful bloom.
And this lady also always has supreme show dogs. They love the showing and put on good performances.
Grace Goodwin judged an entry.
Immediately recognisable, here we have the best of breed Pekingese. These wonderful little dogs can be traced back to the Tang dynasty in China, and they were a favourite in the imperial palaces in Peking, from where they got their name. They became hugely popular in the UK during the Victorian era. They're small, well balanced, with great dignity and quality.
The Han dynasty wanted to replicate the Buddha's experience of taming a wild lion, which symbolised passion and aggression. Buddha's tame lion would follow at his heels like a faithful dog.
Now positioned forward so the judge can see the front of the dog, because that's the most important bit of a Pekingese, is that amazing head and the ears framing it. But underneath, where she's lifting there, she's feeling the weight of the dog and the fact that, believe it or not, there is a waist under there, isn't there?
Yes, they are remarkably heavy to pick up. They should pick up heavy. As you say, the bones sturdily boned front legs with quite a little bit of bow to them, which gives them their rolling action. But the ribcage should then taper to a waist, so it's a pear-shaped body.
They have a very distinctive, slow, dignified, rolling gait, which we'll see here. And this dog is not going to rush itself for anybody.
Well, it's got to get its hair brushed first. Yeah. Make sure it looks absolutely perfect.
And the breeders have been working hard to cut down the amount of coat. They should only have enough coat to show off the body shape.
When British forces took over the Chinese imperial palace
Their
in
alert,
1860,
intelligent expression is really important.
And we can see the rolling action, which comes from a wide front there and a narrow rear.
However,
Big, large
hundreds of
eyes,
dogs escaped death and were brought back
dark
to England
eyes.
and were given to Queen Victoria. And it was through these dogs that the Pekingese
Low slung and relatively
developed,
short in the neck.
first exhibited in Britain in
Distinctive rolling
1893.
action,
That was the Pekingese 4908.
full of Pekingese type.
So Carolyn turns her attention now to the Pomeranian.
Now the little Pomeranian on the table, the smallest of the Spitz breeds, and bred down from sled dogs of the Arctic, rather like the Samoyed. They look like a little Jaffa on legs, this little foxy-shaped head, sharply pricked ears, full of alertness.
They weren't terribly well received here, but it was Queen Victoria who did so much to improve so many dogs' popularity, and after her visit to Florence...
First seen in the UK back in 1870, these little dogs were a great favourite of Queen Victoria, and her dogs were often shown in London. Obviously, she didn't show them herself.
More important shows of the day. And a breed club was subsequently formed.
Lovely little dog. There's their short-backed, compact, quite deep-chested, as Frank said, bred down in size from larger dogs, so they retain some of that substance and quality.
They've got this lovely buoyant quality on the move. They're like little balls. So
Smallest of the six-type dogs
should have
in
good length
stature.
of leg. The bone has to be fine in them. They shouldn't be chunky at all. There has to be an exquisite fineness about the bone and about the face, and this high-set tail which shortens the back.
This one looks like he's smiling, doesn't he?
The pug dog originated in China around 400 BC, was popular and spread to Tibet, Japan and finally to Europe in around about the 16th century. That time he was longer and leaner, not the compact cobby little character we know today. Originally imported by sailors in the Dutch East India Company, he was then called the Dutch Mastiff, can you believe it, or the Dutch Pug, and was popularised by the House of Orange.
State that short-nosed dogs with a description matching that of the pug existed in China in around 700 BC.
And this one has had a great win because he's only 14 months old, so he's topped an entry of nearly 300 pugs today to win that.
Great start to a career for any dog, that.
Now we see the fine coat there. They have to be fine, not long in the coat, but short and fine and soft to the touch.
And although the head is large in proportion in a pug, it doesn't want to be overdone or over-exaggerated, does it?
Nothing exaggerated.
They should be purposeful on the move with a real rise and fall in their action. Often described as a lot of dog in a small frame, and the way this one's going, I think you can see that.
That high-set tail curled over the hip, absolutely characteristic of the breed.
Because of their small size, they became quickly popular as companions to the upper classes and nobility.
Very keen showman. For 14 months, he's very collected in this big ring experience. Looking up at his master, and
I gather Napoleon had to allow
a bit of fine wrinkle on the skull, which is called the work of the head.
5180.
The last of our best of breed winners in the toy group is the Yorkshire Terrier. These are believed to have been developed from a combination of the Black and Tan Terrier with the Maltese and the Skye Terrier. They should have a glorious, straight, glossy coat with a steel blue, really contrasting against that rich, bright tan. That magnificent coat does require a lot of grooming. It's believed they were taken to Yorkshire by Scottish labourers.
Same area as the Airedale Terrier, that we'll see later in the week. The ridings of Yorkshire, and were first seen in and around the 1850s.
We see the judge there brushing the coat to see not only the texture, but also the colours. There should be 3 shades of blue on the body coat and 3 shades of tan, deepest at the roots and then fading out as it reaches the end of the long fall of hair on the head. Very important. And this one comes from a famous kennel, bred in France by Eric Bernard, who's handling it here, but owned in Thailand by Nanta Tansasha, a very keen dog lady, has lovely dogs in many breeds, and has come all the way to win Best of Breed here.
And I think her handler wins the prize for best jacket this evening, don't you? And look at that. I mean, the coat is so important in this breed, with that parting, centre parting that runs dead from the back of the head to the tip of the tail.
These dogs used to be shown on a silk cloth or cushion, and you will notice when they go back into the lineup, they're the only breed now that's shown on a box, which is normally red.
Show off.
Yeah.
And the final dog to compete in this group this evening is the second time that the Russian Terrier...
And the Rusky Toy Terrier has come from the Russian toy has come from the import register. It's very new in this country, but has taken off. It's very popular. We see here shades of the Chihuahua in the outline and the flared ears, but there are various differences in the formation and the size. Come in long coat and smooth coat.
5475.
Fine boned and dainty.
This newcomer is seen in 2 coat varieties, smooth and long-haired, and in various colours, black and tan.
First
blue
exhibited
and
in
tan,
St.
red.
Petersburg in 1907. They should have a long, lean neck and the head should be carried high. When we see this one move, it should be brisk and positive.
And this one has travelled to win Best of Breed here, and typically it's from Minsk in Belarus, so it's come a long way to win the import register today. I'm sure she'll be enjoying the victory and going very nicely.
Stylish action.
Stylish and elegant and light on the move.
That's a little dog who thinks he owns the ring and nobody else should pay attention to anyone else.
5475.
Squarely built and long-legged, that's the Russian toy.
So that now concludes the individual.
And now the judge has gone over all of the dogs on the table, examined them for conformation and coat and for breed type. Now, who is she going to choose? She's got 26 or so here to choose from. She's going to get a short list of 8.
Superb little toys. A big round of applause. Well done.
Just taking one last look.
Top competition in your breed. There were 2,621 toys here today.
Now she's looked at them all, just reminding herself, now she has to decide who will she choose for the shortlist.
To the utility entry, there were just shy of 5,500 entries today. That's 28% of the total show. So, now it's Carolyn's turn
Now,
to make the difficult decision.
coming in now to choose her final 8 in this toy group.
Moving up to the top of the line, who's it going to be?
The Affenpinscher comes in, and the Bichon Frise.
As does the Bichon Frise. And
Also the long coat Chihuahua.
On down the line, and it's the little Griffon Bruxellois.
And the Havanese, the one, the charm offensive work, Jessica.
Well, that's mine.
And the wonderful Italian Greyhound. The Lowchen. No Papillon. She is a Papillon specialist.
And the Yorkshire Terrier with his box.
Congratulations to the other Best of Breed.
There we are, our
winners.
shortlist for the toy group.
With a special round of applause for these shortlisted finalists in this exciting toy group.
So here's our shortlist. She's probably going to move them again, give them a chance to absolutely show themselves as best they can. The little monkey-faced Affenpinscher first of all.
The little urchin of a toy dog with its floating goose step action, full of its self-importance.
And the next dog to go is the Bichon Frise.
Here we have the Bichon Frise. This is Pablo from Lancashire. He was a Crufts Best of Breed winner last year and moving out beautifully here. Very experienced handler.
And one of the top toy dogs in the country last year, so he's had a great career.
Biggest entry in the group, the long-coated Chihuahua. Really, that big dog in the little package, just look at him enjoying his another chance to show off.
This is Gus, 23 months old, so relatively young.
Judge just using a treat to attract attention to get a look at the expression.
And what a lovely outline this Griffon makes with its level top line, its chunky body, its large head and eyes, and very sound moving, really powerful hindquarters as it goes away.
This is Annie from Moscow in Russia.
And there's my little charmer, the Havanese. I think that's an absolutely gorgeous Havanese.
Over from Poland, just 21 months old. This is Ritmo.
The tail's still going.
Next to go, the Italian Greyhound.
Exquisite Italian Greyhound with its high-stepping action. Helen Lister, very successful breeder. She's won a lot of Best of Breed awards at Crufts with her dogs, and here's another one.
Fine, supple skin. Everything about this breed is dainty.
And
Lowchen.
the Lowchen. This is another male, 4498.
Little lion dog.
Selection in the breed of Affenpinscher.
See the mane of hair over the shoulders and the clipped tail gives it this lion-like outline.
And the final dog on the shortlist going here, that glorious coat of the Yorkshire Terrier. This one a big winner, a multi-champion over from France for today's competition.
It's the best thing about Crufts, brings dogs in from all over the world and gives us a chance to revel in their wonderful quality.
A wonderful lineup there for our judge, and it looks like she's called for the boards, which means we're not far away from having our second finalist for Best in Show.
So who's coming back on Sunday to compete for Best in Show?
Who do you think, Frank?
Take your time, and this is the important moment to take your time at this point.
The winner of the toy group, Crufts.
Decisive toward the Bichon Frise wins it.
Wonderful.
Bichon Frise.
Michael Code, the handler, very experienced and has had many great wins in the big ring at Crufts. So,
my little Havanese comes in second.
Wins on personality.
It was a close thing, sweetheart. You nearly made it. Joyous little dog.
A wonderful win for the breed. And there's the Chihuahua coming to third place, the long coat Chihuahua.
And who's going to take the final spot?
Oh, it's
that lovely Italian Greyhound.
The Italian Greyhound, number 4233.
Congratulations to those 4 shortlisted dogs, but huge congratulations.
But there we
to
have
our
it, the
winner,
Bichon Frise taking the group. The first of our 2 finalists for Sunday's Best in Show competition. 2 really big winners, so 2 hot contenders.
So here we have Pablo, our second winner, 2.5 years old, from Lancashire.
Thank you so much.
Trophy being presented by Beth Swigart, a famous toy breeder from America. He's quite unfazed, looking around calmly with those big dark eyes.
I was just going to say, little Pablo's basically saying, look, I'm still showing here.